Now, this is a real racial issue, but will any of the race hucksters on the left stand up and say anything about it? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you a case of actual racism. That's right. Not all this manufactured, woke, ridiculous stuff on the left. I'm talking about real racism. In Atlanta, Georgia, one of the schools out there has segregated classrooms. I'm not making it up. I'm not just saying, like the lunch table where you might have black kids sit together, white kids sit together. I'm not talking about that where there's self-segregation. I'm talking about the administrators of the school, the principal, whoever is saying, here's a class for black kids, here's a class for white kids. And the person behind it is a black woman. I'm not making it up. Now, before I dig into it and give you my thoughts on the matter, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to see the black mother talking about the whole situation and how she found out that her child was in a segregated class. And then you're going to see the black administrator. You see a picture of them, and then you hear an explanation from that side, why they did what they did. And after we get done with that, I'll talk about what was said there. Then I give you my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis, and then I wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Yes, the school district here has looked into these allegations and says it has taken action. Still, parent Kyla Posey says she can't believe a principal thought separating students according to race was a good idea.
We've lost sleep trying to figure out, why would a person do this?
Kyla Posey says she was stunned when she learned about classes segregated by race at Mary Lynn Elementary last year, a practice she says was put in place and condoned by Principal Sharon Briscoe.
First, it was just disbelief that I was having this conversation in 2020 with a person that looks just like me, a black woman. It's segregating classrooms. You cannot segregate classrooms. You can't do it.
Posey says she found out the school was putting black students in 2 separate classes with 2 separate teachers. The white kids were placed in 6 classes with 6 different teachers. The parent says she found this out when she let Briscoe know she wanted her child placed in the classroom of a teacher she thought would be a good fit. Posey says the principal said that wouldn't work.
She said that that's not one of the black classes, and I immediately said, what does that mean? I was confused. I asked for more clarification I was like, we have those in the school? And she proceeded to say that, yes, I have decided that I'm going to place all of the black students in 2 classes.
Posey says she insisted her child be placed in a class with white students. She says Briscoe explained her child would be isolated.
And I explained to her she shouldn't be isolated or punished because I'm unwilling to go along with your illegal and unethical practice.
The Poseys recorded a call with an assistant principal where they complained about the segregated classes. The administrator confirmed it was the principal's decision and seemed to offer an explanation why the classes were set up this way.
We have more black kids too, and then some of them are in a class because of the services that they need.
Kyla Posey has filed this discrimination complaint with the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights. Her attorney, Sharice Shields, says what's going on at Mary Lynn is a violation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 say that you cannot treat one group of people differently based upon race, and that is what is going on at Mary Lynn.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, what in the world? This is 2021. This is not a long time ago, 1945 or something like that. 2021, you have segregation in the classroom. In Atlanta, Georgia, Black Mecca, right? Keisha Lance Bottoms, Black Hollywood, Artisan and the Third, Black Excellence, segregated classrooms. Now, the explanation behind this, I'm not really understanding, talking about, well, I decided to do it because, there's certain things that black kids need. Like, what are we talking about exactly? Let's be more specific. Are we trying to say that black kids are going to have lower IQs? Are we going to give better teachers to black kids? Are we going to give less resources to the white kids? Are we trying to have equality? Like, what's going on? Because this could be viewed a few different ways. The first way is that the administrator thinks that black kids can't perform very well, they need extra help, learning disability class, or, one of those classes where they have certain kids in. It could be like that, or it could be a thing where the black kids and the white kids could be kind of even, but the white kids been performing better than the black kids a little bit. And there's reasons for that. I talk about a little bit later in the video, but maybe the white kids are doing better than the black kids. So in order to quote unquote even it out, even the playing field, you'll put the white kids in classes where the education is not as good. You give them subpar materials. I mean, I'm not really sure how you're going to do it, because maybe in their mind, they think that if you separate them, they can accelerate the black kids while demoting the white kids. I'm not sure how you're going to do it. It doesn't make sense when I'm saying it to you, but to have segregated classes does not make sense either. The thing, what's happening right here makes no sense. So I'm trying to make sense of it from a nonsensical point of view, if that makes sense, right? So I'm not exactly sure what they're going to accomplish by doing this. What I do know is that it's illegal. Okay, Civil Rights Act, you can't do this. If you separate anybody based on their race, and especially at a school, you get federal funding. Oh no, you get state, local tax money. So if you are a parent, you are anyone that lives in this particular area, you may have kids, no kids, grown kids, young kids, it don't matter. If you're paying taxes, your tax money goes to the public school system, and they're getting money from the federales. This is 1,000% illegal. You cannot do this. You're talking about criminal charges here, for sure. And it wouldn't be the first time this happened in Atlanta. Remember the whole the test scandal, and people got locked up for that? I think what happened was a lot of the black kids, or a lot of the kids in general, I don't want to stereotype, but mostly black kids, they were performing poorly in the testing. So the teachers would have these late night sessions, like at people's houses, where they be bubbling in answers. I experienced something like this when I was in school, but not quite to this extent of bubbling in answers, like filling a test out for the kids. It wasn't quite like that. What we went through was one of our teachers gave us the SOL answers. Like every time we went to the class, his idea of test prep was to read the answers to us and have us memorize them. That was his test prep. And that guy was crazy. I remember he wound up getting married to the French teacher and leaving in the middle of the school year. It was weird, but I digress. The whole point is that there's a lot of cheating and stuff going on already, things that have already been documented. People went to jail for it in Atlanta, Georgia. So I wouldn't be surprised if a similar thing was happening here, meaning there were some laws being broken. Now, let's get back to I think maybe core of the matter. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just my particular viewpoint looking at this. The core of the matter is that a lot of white and Asian kids are doing better than black and Hispanic kids. And when I say Asian, understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Indian subcontinent, China, Japan, Korea, Philippines. That's Asia, not just Beijing or Tokyo. You understand? But anyway, whites and Asians are doing better than blacks and Hispanics academically. But why? Maybe it's because the Asians spend much more time doing homework, much more time studying than Hispanics, and most certainly blacks. And I think the numbers, and shout out to my man Sub-Zero. I forget the rest of your numbers, sir. All I know is Sub-Zero, so pardon me. Also a fellow YouTuber, talking about how long black kids spend on homework versus whites and Asians. Asians spend like 2 or 3 hours, black kids 15 minutes. How are you going to perform well or better as a black kid than Asians and whites if you only spend like 0 to 15 minutes doing homework to their 2 hours? How are you going to be able to compete? And then let's talk about what happens before you go to school. I'm talking about before kindergarten, not in the morning before you go to the bus stop and get on the bus and go to school. Before K through 12 starts. I'm talking about when you're 1, 2, 3 years old. How does education happening early, even in the womb? Moms reading to the kids in the womb, and when they're little kids, doing little flashcards, exercises, how to count, how to read, all of that type of stuff. So when they get to be 4 or 5 years old, getting ready for school, they're prepared. They can read a little bit. They can color in the lines. They can write their own name. They have some skills versus a lot of black kids where it's like, okay, the government got it. That ain't my job. That's the government's job to teach my kid how to read. So your little Jarquavion's 5 years old and can't read at all, can't write, can't tie his shoes, can't color, can't do nothing. And the leap, the gap between the white kid and the black kid that'll remain throughout school. So you may have a teacher, administrator, principal, or whatever see that gap and try to do something to fix it. But see, it's not their job to try and do something to fix it, meaning separate them. All you got to do is just teach your curriculum, period. If kids need extra help, then I'm not sure what to do. Get a tutor, after school program, something like that. But it's not your job to try to come in there and fix it that way, because ultimately what it is racist. It's racist. And I always hear people talking about white man this, white man that. Well, ain't nobody white involved with this. You got black mother, black kid, black administrator. Black mother, black kid, black administrator. What are we talking about? Everybody is black that's involved. And that's the way it always has been. As I close, throughout my entire school career, it was pretty much everybody's always black. So this whole thing about white man this, white man that, I don't even understand. What are you talking about? Everybody's black. I'm in a majority black area, 60% black city, 90%, 100% black school. Where is a white man to blame? If you're doing something that's wrong, the person doing it needs to be held accountable rather than just resorting to racism and saying, oh, it's the white man's fault. Hold that person accountable. And in this case, ain't no white man to blame. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about school segregation? Is it a good thing, bad thing? Is it illegal, legal? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at with it. I think this is something that happens probably a lot, especially when you're talking about higher education. A lot of racial division is happening. It happens a lot in some of these dorms and the really woke schools. And that's where it's happening. To make that point crystal clear, a lot of the segregation, racial division happens at the very prestigious places, liberal places. That's where it's going on the most. And they want to say, oh, this is inclusion. Everyone separated. We have a black graduation, a white graduation. And the funny part is that they say, okay, here's the black graduation, the LGBT graduation, and then the regular graduation, which means the white one. It's like that's going on in a lot of these really woke, well-to-do, high-paid type, high tax-based type places. But they want to sit there and talk about how racist everyone else is. How about get a mirror, look at it, and you can find what you're looking for if you're trying to search out racism and you're having a hard time finding it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.